Vixie, do you want to be in the video? Do you want to be in the video? Or you can just play with your string there. Hello, I'm Becky. This is Binks. You might see Luna as well. And welcome to my channel. Or if you're not new here, welcome back. Thank you for coming back. It's October, and I would honestly call it a toxic trait at this point. Sorry, that was my laptop. I always have these grand plans for October. I want to release loads of like autumn videos. It's my favourite time of year. Heck, I love it. I've got mugs. This mug has literally my tattoo on it. And every year, I overbook myself. I wear myself out. I normally catch a virus, which really helps when you've got chronic fatigue and chronic pain. And I just don't. I manage about one. Now, as some of you may also know from looking at my Instagram, I am trying to make some Edwardian underwear, which involves a lot of insertion lace, and my god, I did not know how much time that was going to take. Very detailed process. It's taken me longer than I thought. So we're moving on. And this week, I am going to be trying to make a Wanda costume for Halloween. Before I go any further, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who comes back and watches these videos. It means a hell of a lot. If you do enjoy these videos and you would like to be notified when I make a new one, you could subscribe, you could press the little bell button, and if you enjoy this one, if you give me a little thumbs up, and if you hated it, if you think, no, this was not the one, I don't like it when people mess with Marvel costumes, for example, give it a thumbs down. It's completely fine. And if you would like me to be able to spend more time and money on these projects, I have a Ko-fi link. A Ko-fi link? Ko-fi? Binks is about to knock over my ring light. I have a thing that you can go and like tip me and buy me a coffee. So if that is something you're interested in, people that send me weird messages on Instagram offering me money, I see you. That's where you need to go. Feel free, although I know that times are tough right now. So yeah, I'm making a Wanda costume. Now, I wanted to do the classic 1980s one that she wears for Halloween in the show, which is very like bright pink, bright red. However, I was looking for a red leotard, and I try to buy things secondhand. So I was looking on Depop and there's nothing. So what I've got instead is a sort of purpley red leotard. I'll show you later. But that has slightly dictated the angle that I'm going for with this. Now, never to make it simple for myself, rather than buying a new leotard, I've stuck with the purple one, purpley sort of burgundy red, and I'm going to make a mishmash of the Wanda costume that she wears on Halloween and the Scarlet Witch costume that she wears in Multiverse of Madness. No, is it Multiverse of Madness? Oh, it's Doctor Strange in. You may or may not have seen it. Wanda Goes Batshit is great. I mean, the whole thing is great. It's Sam Raimi. That's what I want to do. And the way I'm going to do that, I've got some accessories that I can just add in. I've got some fabric to make a cape. I also need to make the headpiece that she wears there. I'm going to try and do the special effects makeup that makes me look a little bit more like an Olsen than I currently do. And I'm making some bad life choices because I couldn't find a wig, so I've got hair dye. I'm going ginger. So yeah, that's the plan. I went to the rag market in Birmingham. Every video I do should start with, I went to the rag market and I got some red fabric to make the cape. So what we're going to do today is make the cape and headpiece. Let's go. Right, fingers crossed this is focused and that I actually fit in the frame. Now, in my mind, I had this image of Wanda's headband being quite thin. Turns out I've probably just been looking at too many plasticky Halloween costumes of this. It's actually quite thick. So what I've done is I had a look at what was in my stash. You know, we had foam, we had felt, and what I've decided is we're going to do cardboard and then we're going to cover it because it's actually massive. Luckily not too big, just because I've got a tiny head. What I've done is I've taken some measurements, so you know, from here to here to make sure it fits my hairline, across here to make sure it fits across my face, and then I've roughly sketched out on a pizza box, shout out to Rudy's Pizza, what I want for one side. So once I've got that, I'm then going to trace it onto the other side, and there should be a fold in the middle. We're not using fabric scissors, we're using these. And I'm just going to cut this out. Now, I am hoping this fits, because if it doesn't, I'm gonna need another pizza box. What a hardship. Hey, I would have to order another pizza. Does anyone else find it really hard to cut things on a flat surface? I find it easier just to hold it. You're probably getting like the greasy underside right now. You know, we think reuse, recycle-ish. So what I've got to make sure I don't do is cut through the centre fold of this. Right, there we go. And then I'm going to go like this. So that's what we've got so far. And actually, I don't know how well this is going to work. I'm going to fold all of this up as well. What we've got is that shape. That works, right? We're going to flip it. And then we're going to reverse it. So I'm going to fold that over. There will be a fold down here anyway. Quick. Nope. No. Ta-da! I'd say that's pretty good. So what we're going to do next is cover this in fabric. I've got some fabric that roughly matches the cape. It's got a nice texture to it, and I'm going to PVA glue it to this. Let me sort the camera out. Turns out I have more PVA glue than one woman should reasonably own. However, what is the bet that both of those are dried out and neither of them works? I've got this. Here's hoping it fits. Should fit. Oh yeah, look at that. There we go. Trying to be as economic as possible whilst leaving a little bit for wrapping around the outside. I should probably have drawn back this. I did not think this through. It's cause I've got soup on my brain. Now we are using the fabric scissors. I honestly think at this point I'm so much faster with a rotary cutter. There we go. Right. And then what we're going to do is just cut anywhere there's a corner. That's going to be a notch. Corner. There we go. Right. Good enough. To quote Rachel Maxine. Now, does this work? Ah, look! It does work. Okay, cool. Right, now which way did I put the bends in this? It's this way, isn't it? I mean, we're absolutely folding all of this over anyway, so that's fine. Now, the moment of truth. Oh god, okay, right. Be able to just squidge this till it matches up with the edges. Flip it. Not bad. And we're going to do the same on the back. Yeah, are you helping? No, you're not helping, you're playing under my skirt. In the project. Come on. There we go. Helping. Being my craft assistant, aren't you? Yeah. It's not sticking. Hot glue. Is hot glue the answer? While we're waiting for that headdress thing to dry, I thought I'd show you this. Now, I looked at the reference photos and then questioned whether I should even show you this, because I was thinking, oh gosh, how do you make a cape? How do you make sure it's the right shape? It honestly looks like a straight line that's just wrapped around herself. So, I've got this massive bit of cotton drill, which I seem to use for all of my projects. So we're just going to whoosh this around ourselves and see how long it needs to be. So, whoosh. Oh, I feel like Doctor Strange. Okay, so it literally sits off her shoulders there, and it seems to come higher up at the front slightly and slightly lower down at the back. So literally what I'm going to do, hem this down these sides and hang it on my mannequin and trim it, and then hem the bottom. And that's literally as much as needs doing with this. Oh, I'm putting a little ribbon just like across here, which from my other project I have this, which is sort of slightly more pink, but I think for this it will be fine. That's it, folks. That's the quality of sewing that's happening in this video. I don't fit behind here. I call this the many things I will knock off the table sewing this heckin' massive piece of fabric. Shall we? Okay, this is going to be the most boring footage I've ever sewn, so I'm going to come and turn you off because you don't need to see this. Whew, I'm back. So, ow. I did some gardening yesterday, very briefly. I just weeded the outside our house. Oh my god, my thighs and my glutes hurt. And I mean, this is why gentle exercise with fibromyalgia is an absolute minefield. Now this is dried, and I mean there are some little glue spots everywhere that we probably need to deal with before it's done, and obviously I've got some issues which I will fix. I wanted to, rather than having this as a very like 2D thing, make it look 3D and make it look a little bit more like the dark magic is kind of creeping in. So what I've got is some fabric paint, and I'm hoping this hasn't dried out completely, although if it has, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because what I want to do is just gently brush the fabric with this rather than making the whole thing black. Now the way I'm going to do the makeup is going to be one-sided, so I need to pick a side of this and then match that side to my makeup. This side is messier, so I think we're gonna start dry brushing this. Because why would I make something that looks perfect and nice when I can make something that looks grotty and horrible? So then you've got kind of the pristine Wanda side of it, and then you've got the dark magic Scarlet Witch side. The whole costume is not going to be one-sided, double-sided is just going to be one thing, but the makeup is going to be, so I'm going to go with this for now. I don't really know if this would be a good point to have a chat, wouldn't it? I'm not really doing anything for Halloween this year, you know. For one, diabetic, all sorts of health issues. I don't want COVID for Halloween, or in fact any other time of year. Also it's my birthday the week after, so I really don't want COVID just before my birthday. So I'm still playing it safe, I'm staying in. Someone needs to look after the cats anyway, so they're not quite old enough to be left unattended yet. So you might be thinking, why am I making this? And the answer to that is I refuse to not dress up for Halloween. I wanted to make this video anyway, and we live on a road where I think there are likely to be trick-or-treaters, so I will be putting a mask on. I've got one that matches these colours, and hopefully handing out some sweets, but yeah, I don't know. I should also be having some friends around for dinner one night just before Halloween, so I don't know, maybe I'll make it fancy dress if this is ready in time. But I love the season so much. I did not want to let it go by unmarked. That's my plans for Halloween. Have you got any? If you could let me know in the comments. I would love to live vicariously through you from my little like plague bunker of not going out. It's a tricky one because like I would love to go back to doing what I used to do, living how I used to live, but the reality of the matter is until venues start running clean air filters and people have access to testing, or cases just get low enough that the odds of me catching things are lower, I can't. And also with my current energy levels, if I got long COVID, I don't know how I'd be, because at the moment I can still work, I can still just about look after myself, but add long COVID in and I don't know how that would go. The other thing I'm doing is marathoning Halloween films, and I tend to do this every year, and I'm sure that Alex gets sick of them. And on my list for this weekend I've got Little Shop of Horrors because it's on Prime, the proper like 80s musical version, and I really want to watch Sleepy Hollow, but I'll definitely save that for nearer the time. Death Becomes Her, gonna watch that. And I would quite like to watch The Witch. It really speaks to the like early modern studies bit of me. Like if you could just drop film recommendations in the comments as well, let me know. And also, what are you dressing up as for Halloween? Because I feel like there've been some really good films out recently, and Comic-Con and things like that have come back, so I think people have got costumes this year where previously they didn't. So if you could please tell me what you're dressing up as. Also, I'm always looking for inspiration because, it's not just Halloween that I dress up for. And I'd really like to have a go at making different costumes. The cats are now 6 months old, so they're not really babies anymore. They're getting quite big. Although Luna is definitely still more of a baby than Bigsy. She doesn't weigh anything when you pick her up, whereas he's like a sack of potatoes now. He's massive, and I think he's only going to get bigger. I think we're kind of at there. That's where we're at so far. I'm definitely going to paint this curve on because I think otherwise it's not going to be terribly obvious that that's what it is. I've seen some really cool cookies that I'd like to try making for Halloween that do involve airbrushes. I think the problem is living in a rented house, like there's not room for all of the creative stuff that I would like. For instance, there is not room for a wood workshop in this house, but I would like a woodworking bench and a Dremel and that kind of thing. One day I will have my dream dad shed. I think I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'm actually really pleased with that. I'm just gonna fold this edge right the way over. Well, this is probably the worst idea I've had all day. Let me just comb my hair back so that you can actually see my forehead. Let's see. How's it looking? Is it looking good? I need to look in the mirror behind me because I can't see. Yeah? Instead of buying a wig, or I couldn't find a wig I liked at a price point I could afford. So instead, I'm making bad life choices. Of course, this will probably just turn my hair like exactly the same colour as it is now. But we'll give it a go. When I started making videos on the internet, this is exactly how I envisioned it. trying to do this. It's a bit revealing if you don't like wrap yourself up. Just gonna stand like this, I think. I'm really pleased with it. I'm also really pleased with the transformation makeup. I don't know how well it's coming across on camera, but in the photos it looks pretty good. I actually think this side of my face is much better than this side of my face. And I also made, I don't know if you can hear that, that's the cat shouting. I also made the mistake of having dark Wanda Scarlet Witch's like shading on this side, and then did dark Wanda in the tunnels in Multiverse of Madness on this side. So that was a bit of a mistake. But generally, like the cloak, it keeps flipping out like this. I'm gonna line it maybe and use it for other things. The leotard, I haven't worn a leotard in years. It's really comfy. This whole thing is just really comfy. And I think, like obviously I'm not the size that Elizabeth Olsen is, but you don't have to be to wear this kind of costume, and if you want to, you can wear like something, you could wear a dress rather than a leotard, but I'm really pleased with this and I love the headdress. I think the headdress is my favourite bit of it. I just feel like I'm wearing a crown. So yeah, I'm probably going to wear this to give trick-or-treaters sweets. I'll probably just do the like 80s Wanda face for that rather than the scary Scarlet Witch. And maybe next year I'll get red and blue contact lenses to make it look a bit more. Happy Halloween. I hope you're having a great time whatever you've done this weekend and this evening. And creak! And I will see you again very, very soon. Hopefully with that Edwardian underwear I keep talking about.